What's up, folks? Guess who? This is Michael. Back from the weekend. Back from a few days off. Recharged my batteries. Back from the hurricane that came and went. Caused a bunch of damage. Oh, it's stressful. It's a stressful week. I'm feeling it for sure, folks. This is like the last week of finals for the first 8-week class. And then I get a little break for little fall break. A couple days is what it amounts to me. And then I start class all over again. So, yeah, it's stressful. I'm stressed. But it's a good stress. I'm feeling good about it. Feeling good about heading into the last stretch of things. Anyways, I digress. I'm glad to be back. Back to the grind, as I like. I wouldn't have it any other way. The answer to the previous trivia question was, of course, mail service. Now, this is an interesting story. This is like pre-drone. Kind of an interesting, kind of a factoid type of a history that I really enjoyed researching. So going back to the 1940s, on October 1st, 1947, which was the focus of the trivia question, helicopter airline company called Los Angeles Airways commenced AILMAIR service. They got a permit to do this after the United States Civil Aeronautics Board, I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, awarded the company route authorities to operate local air mail services in Southern California. Pretty cool. Using what was known as a Sikorsky S-51 helicopter. There's a picture of it right there in the top right. Bucket of bolts. Big old huge jalopy just bolted together sheet metal is basically what this thing was. Clunky. It was not much to it, really. It did not take long before they were operating a very successful twice-a-day mail service between the mail downtown post office and Los Angeles International Airport, along with the small package Air Express service, which they started shortly thereafter. So they kind of hooked in to a cool niche in a state like California, as big as it was. They needed something to move the mail around a little bit more efficiently. Lo and behold, there you go, Los Angeles Airways. Within a year, Los Angeles Airways had worked its way up to a fleet of 5 helicopters. They had 5 of these big old clunky things, and 700 tons of mail being carried, with approximately 40,000 landings throughout the Los Angeles metropolitan area. This was all within the first year, folks. All the while, they maintained a 95% reliability rate. So not only was it more efficient, but it worked. And it was a good business niche in that area of the country. Los Angeles, California, without question. In 1953, a couple of years later, they began an Air Express service, like I mentioned before. And you could pay a little more to get it to move it faster. Right, and by the end of 1953, it was on an annual basis. It was moving nearly 4,000 tons of mail a year combined between the air service and the regular mail service. Pretty darn good. And they kept growing beyond that. The following year, check this out, they began a passenger service where they were toting people around California, Los Angeles Airways. There's a couple of tickets and flyers that advertise this stuff. The main hub was the Los Angeles International Airport, LAX, where passengers were flown to and from local area heliports. Wherever there was a heliport, they could tap into this service. And this included Disneyland Resort in Anaheim and the Newporter Resort in Newport Beach. So the service was expanded to Ontario and San Bernardino. Easy for me. Other parts of California. And the thing about it, there was just interesting marketing for this. This was marketed as kind of a resort, a plush type of a service that you could receive with Los Angeles Airways, getting flown from the airport to Disneyland. Of course, what better way to pay a little bit of extra money and get this kind of plush, kind of luxurious service? And they tapped into that fairly well, just the same. It was a very successful company. Now, I think they had plans, as my research serves me correctly, towards the end of my research on this company and on the services that they provided. I think they had plans to actually even broaden their personal service toting people around, right? With even bigger helicopters. But I think a couple of accidents with the helicopters would subsequently do away with this line of work and this business. And I think it just kind of had its heyday just the same. So it was short-lived in the long kind of historical aspect of things, for sure. But it was neat while it lasted, especially with the mail service. All with the idea of the mail service, and then expanding to flying people around the Los Angeles and California area. Now, there are talk of bringing this type of service back, and you should see some of the stuff I found in my research as far as helicopters go. Some of these things look like Star Trek type of units, quite frankly. I don't know if this will be a forerunner of sorts in this type of transportation. I think drones will probably get the lion's share in the future of stuff like this, especially when it comes to like smaller services like mail service and so forth, and delivery in that capacity. But we shall see. You never know. All right, folks, let's get back to the grind and continue with this week. This is going to be a good week, folks. I can feel it. For October 4th, here's your brand new trivia question. On this day, in 2014, this is recent. See how many generations can get this question. A 12-episode spinoff show called Serial debuts and quickly becomes a smash hit, mostly because it was delivered to audience by way of this platform. And now, of course, everybody's got one. Have a terrific Tuesday, folks. I'll see you guys later. I'm here all week long in the wee hours, on the graveyard shift in the dead of night. Peace out.